Este último momento de nuestro Power Sport del día de hoy está dedicado íntegramente al Mercedes Grand Prix de Fórmula 1, en donde Shumaher, Ross Brawn y por supuesto también Rosberg nos estarán explicando distintos momentos y elementos y eventos del auto de Fórmula 1. ¿Te parece que lo compartamos? Interesantísimo este momento que en Power Sport por Speed estamos compartiendo vos y yo.
Pit stops are very important because of the degradation on the tires. The strategy can really make a difference this year, and you can win or lose races in the pits.
Box, pit confirmed.
The pit stop is obviously one of the most important key factor in the race in order to make the strategy work, to improve your positions. And the good thing is that I can rely on my boys. I mean, my boys are just great. I mean, they're the best team that is down the paddock, the quickest guys, reliable, focused, and well, that's obviously great to know.
You have time to think about all the settings that you need to change for going out again from the pits, because then you'll be probably on new tires, so you'll be able to go a lot faster.
We have many training sessions back at Brackley and also at the racetrack for events, but during the winter from January 5th onwards we'll do 2 sessions a day when we're able to. Obviously we've got to build cars at the same time, but we'll end up doing 40 or 50 pit stops a day for 5 or 6 weeks.
This system is actually, we changed the wheel nut as well as the wheel, and the wheel nut is actually integrated in the wheel itself. It's a similar system to what the DTMs use, yeah, whereas you actually change both the wheel nut and the wheel together, and you cannot lose a wheel nut.
Parte fundamental de cualquier Grand Prix, precisamente los pit stop, los compartimos aquí, pero tenemos mucho más para compartir contigo, con Nico Rosberg y Shumaher.
So, this is my steering wheel, and I do agree it looks a bit more like a spaceship control pad than a steering wheel. So to start off with, there's a few differential switches. Differential has a big influence on the balance of your car in cornering, and it's split into different areas. So there's entry, mid-corner and exit, and also high speed. It's very, very important to get those spot on, those settings of the differential, especially for a qualifying lap. It can really have tenths of a second difference per lap. Then you go to the torque switch. Torque is, it's your pedal map, so with how much pedal do you get how much power from the engine. And you can change the settings there. So for example, if it starts raining, you're going to change that to a softer pedal map so that you don't get so much power. You have mixture here, that's told to you by the engineers. It's change how lean or how rich the engine is running with the fuel. Bite point is the clutch, so that's for clutch settings, which also the engineer will tell you for the start. This is the radio.
Start the next lap. Warm up the tires now.
Here's the curved boost button, so with the push of the button there you get a 10% increase in engine power and a big boost. And this is the KERS harvesting, so this dictates how much harvesting is actually happening, which you can reduce or increase with this rotary here. And these grips are custom made so that we have good grip and so that it sits well in our hand. speed limiter when you come into the pits. You push the button and the car will not be able to go over 100 kph.
Pit lane, speed limiter in the box.
The gear shift RPM will come on these lights here. Here there's also the light for the rear wing. When that goes on, it tells you, okay, now you can use it. You're close enough to the guy in front. There's the rear wing button, which is located somewhere at the back here, because there wasn't enough space in the front, so we had to put some buttons in the back. Then on the back, which I'm not allowed to show, there's the shift paddles and the clutch lever, and that's it. So now I have to go. This is Michael's wheel, and without the wheel he's not going to be able to drive.
La Fórmula 1 la vivís de esta manera en Power Sport, pero seguimos con mucho más. Hablaremos de aerodinámica, uno de los elementos fundamentales de cualquier auto de carrera, pero fundamentalmente de un Fórmula 1.
On our Mercedes-Petronas Formula 1 car, the aerodynamics are crucial for its performance. If during the winter we've managed to develop the best aerodynamics compared to everybody else in the field, then there's a great chance that we'll be winning races.
The aerodynamics of a Formula 1 car is probably the most powerful force that we generate with the car, and it's probably the key area for the performance of a Formula 1 car.
It's mainly always a compromise between trying to find the most possible downforce, so load on the track, compared with the least possible drag, which slows you down on the straights. An example of how powerful the aerodynamics are was the F-duct last year, where a tiny hole in the rear wing had such a huge effect and made us a couple of tenths per lap faster. And another good example where the aerodynamics are very powerful is in fast corners. If the aerodynamics are just right on the car, you can take it absolutely flat out. Whereas if they're not perfect, you'll have to lift in the corner because you'll be moving about and it just won't feel good when you're driving in the car.
Really, a Formula 1 car is like a low-flying aircraft. And in fact, it generates so much downforce that we can invert the road surface at 175 kilometers an hour and the car will still stay stuck to that road surface. It's so powerful.
There's about more than 100 people working just on the aerodynamics in our factory. Every surface of the F1 car is thought about. You know, they consider everything for the aerodynamics so that the air flows as smoothly as possible over the car. It might surprise you, but even the helmet of the driver is tested in the wind tunnel, and they put little winglets here and there and change the position just to absolutely optimize everything.
It's such an important part of the performance of a Formula 1 car that we have our largest department here at Mercedes-Petronas devoted to the aerodynamics of the car.
Seguiremos en programas que vendrán con este apasionante mundo de la Fórmula 1 y el equipo Mercedes. Por hoy simplemente un fortísimo abrazo, el agradecimiento de cada semana. Dentro de 7 días yo te voy a estar esperando aquí en Canal Speed, en este mismo horario, para compartir contigo una vez más la pasión que nos une, los autos y los autos de carrera.